Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. In this game, we're going to start a career in this game, see how we can do building up our own car mechanic empire, and let's get stuck in and get started here. So we've created a name, our company here, it's called Blitzy Fixie. I thought that was pretty catchy. We're going to hit the enter key and we're going to pick our difficulty. Let's go with normal, that sounds pretty good. It is not our first, it's going to skip the tutorial, so we're just going to jump right in and the game's going to get us started here. It's going to drop us in our own little company here. Welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. This is your new garage. Take a look around and get to know your new workplace. You have at your disposal an old adapted gas station with its surroundings. Complete orders, purchase and renovate cars, and expand your garage. Good luck. So one of the cool things about this game is you can buy complete junkers, do body work, rebuild the engine, and then sell them or drive them around and build your own cool car collection and stuff like that. But here is our first look. We are apparently on Route 66, somewhere in the United States right now. I think this truck over here is ours, but I don't know if we can drive it. We have a phone booth. There's a rose on the bench. That's kind of cool. What is that? In memory of, I can't see that. Christian, this must be something to do with the developers, huh? Well, that's kind of cool. We have a propane tank over there. But let's go inside and take a look at our auto base here. It's a little bit of a mess inside, sorry. I have played to kind of test it out to see whether I thought this would be interesting. I was going to play about an hour and ended up playing about 5 hours with the test episode. So I'm a little bit familiar with how things work, but still very much a beginner at the game. Here is our beautiful empire. Yes, that is our school bus, but I don't think it's salvageable. And I think it just, I have no idea why we have a school bus in our garage. We have decorated for Christmas. You can see the snowflakes up top. Christmas trees over here. We have someone here that works here is called Boston, but I don't see anybody else, so I'm not quite sure what that means. Voice is here. But let's take a look around. So this right in front of us we can see is our only kind of lift. This is the first one. Eventually we can build more, but right now we don't have very much money. Top right hand corner of the screen you can see we have 4,000 credits, 0 experience, and we're level 1. So very shortly, we're going to come in and we're going to take our first order and get busy. And the goal for this episode, can we get to level 2 and can we do 2 orders, I think. Now over here, if you click on the toolbox, there's a lot of upgrading that exists in the game. So this is kind of your skills upgrading area. And if I click on the house on the top right, this is your garage expansions and your tool expansions. We're going to get a couple of these right away because we have 4,000 credits. I want to get a tablet. So we're going to hit the enter key and buy and hold that. And now that's turned green. We've lost 5,000 credits in the top right. And the reason why I want to get that is you have a tablet, you can order parts while you're working on the car instead of having to walk over to the computer all the time. That's kind of a pain in the butt. The other thing we want to get right at the start here is this electronic multimeter because that's going to help us get some experience. I figured out, and that helps us diagnose electrical parts in the fuse box, which is a really cool way to get experience, and it's only 150 credits. The rest of this stuff we're going to leave out, and our big first term goal is down here on the left for garage expansions. We want to expand our garage. It costs 10,000 credits, so we've got a lot of work to do. Money is not easy to get by in this game. It takes a while. Skill-wise, we don't have any skill points yet, so we have to level up to get some skill points. One of the things we want to work to is this what's called Renovator, because there's a whole element where you can repair parts in the game, and right now we can only buy new and expensive parts, but if we can start repairing parts, we can make more money. So I think that's going to help us here. So our first goal is going to be get this kind of maybe, actually the first one we're going to get is a 5% discount on parts you buy because you don't make a lot of money in the beginning of the game, I've discovered. So I think that's going to be our first one. Then we're going to try to work up in this track here, but we'll get to all that later. We do have some tools around here. Over here, we have our spring puller, which allows us to disassemble shocks. We have our wheel balancer, which allows us, of course, to balance wheels. We have our tire changer, which allows us to strip tires from rims. And I'm not sure if we'll need those today, but I think that's everything that we need to see at the moment. Now, at the very beginning, of course, our low-life Blitzy Fixie garage is just a small, nothing garage. So we have to start taking orders to kind of get customers in here and start fixing up their cars. So we're going to right click on our mouse, and this wheel is where you control a lot of different things. We can see our parts inventory. We don't have any parts in stock right now. It's going to escape out of that. We can take pictures. We have a shopping list. So if we want to buy stuff, we're going to see we don't have anything on it right now. This is a handy way for ordering parts that you need as you're doing repairs. A map. The world is pretty cool. So you can here's our garage. You can see all the things on the left. There's car auctions where you can go bid on cars and then fix them up, but they have to be level 15. There's a junkyard where you can go buy parts and get all this used stuff and bring it in, and then you can start fixing the parts and get a junker, a scrap car from the junkyard, and build it up into this top car. That's kind of, I think, something I really want to do in the game. But yes, you have to be level 5. Then there's a barn where you can look around for parts and old junkyard cars too, but you have to be level 10 for that. So none of this stuff applies to us right now. It's really time for us to get busy. And the way you do that is by right-clicking, pulling up your wheel here, and then taking orders. We have 2 orders in right now that we could opt on. The very top one are these story orders. These are really fun. And I think we're going to do that one in the second episode if we decide to continue on a little bit, because these orders they have all kinds of problems and you don't really know which one. They come with this little story here. So it basically says, hi, I was just passing by and I noticed a repair shop. It's good that somebody took care of the old ruined petrol station. That car that I'm coming in today is a recent purchase. It was used on a daily basis. The condition is rather okay. Be good to check the oil level and tires. And so it kind of has this little story of this customer that comes in, whereas the majority of the jobs are just, here's a car and it needs something. And we can see here it needs brake system needs fixing, and they're going to provide us a list of parts we need, which is handy because sometimes cars come in and it's like something's wrong with the brakes, but they don't know it. So you have to kind of diagnose the problem and figure out what it is. So let's, however, do this one first. We're going to take this order. It's going to be a Valson 2040 diesel car. It should show us up front. Yeah, this car is in pretty rough shape here. You can see a lot of rust on it and stuff like that. Eventually we can have a body shop, but we don't have that capability right now. So we're just going to right click on it, and then we're going to move the car to our first car lifter here, which is the only option really we have to work on it right now. So we'll chuck that in here, and now we have our car in here. And if we right click on it, we can pull up car status in the top right window here. This shows us the various things, engine performance and stuff like that. None of this is super important yet to us. This, however, is important. We need an ABS brake module, an automatic braking system module to fix. We're going to have to fix some calipers, some discs, disc ventilated, and some brake pads. For the brakes, you kind of have to take them apart to see what's wrong. And the customer's standard of broken is 49%. So anything that's 49% or better, they're not going to spend money to fix it. This order also is going to give us a 25% XP bonus, which is good. So let's get busy. The first thing we're going to need to do, because we're working on the brakes, is get the wheels off and start to take a look at it. So we're going to press that little button, raise the car up on its jack here. I'm going to go way up high. All right, we got this car going now. So then we're basically just going to come in and we're going to left click because we're working on the suspension. We're going to left click and hold to open up the rim. Now you can see this little, you basically left click to take screws off, to take the hub bolts off. All right, lug nuts off here. There we go. Off we go. Very easy. We're pretty fast at this. This one's orange and sticky, so we right click on it, spray it with some WD-40. Comes right off. It'd be so nice if this were the way it worked in real life. All right, so we know I think 49% is our standard of tolerance. We're going to just kind of start taking these apart here. We're going to unscrew the brake calipers with these bolts in the back, and we're going to see in the top left, brake caliper is 27%, so that's going to have to be replaced. So we're going to have to order that. Brake pads, let's see how these are. 52%, so that's above the standard of tolerance. That's okay. This ventilated disc looks okay, but let's just take it off and see. Nope, 16%, so we're going to have to fix that. So now we're going to do a little trick here. We're going to come in and we're looking at our inventory. Our inventory has grown by 5 parts because these are all the parts we've taken off the car. You can see the brake disc ventilated in its percentage of kind of quality, 16%. Brake pads and brake caliper cylinder are okay. They're at 50%, just yellow. The brake caliper is 27%. And here's the tire and rim that we've taken off. Now, what's a really cool trick is they have the shopping list system here. So we're going to have to fix the brake disc. So we're going to right click on it. And by right clicking on it, that automatically shoots it to the shopping list. And we're going to do the same thing for the brake caliper. So now we can kick out of our inventory and we can right click to our handy dandy tablet that we bought. We're going to click on that, click on car parts. And then now we can, down the bottom here, we have a tab, or we can just click on it, open up our shopping list. And what's really cool about this, you just left click on it, and there it selects the part on your shopping list. We're going to click on it. It costs 100 credits. We're going to buy that. Open our shopping list again. Click on the brake caliper. Click on that. We're going to buy that. 75 credits. So we're buying our parts. Now let's come in to, you can either be taking parts off the car, putting cars on the car, and you right click to toggle between them by selecting the wheel here. So we can see the little green plus gear, switch to part mount mode, and that's what we want because we want to mount these back on. So we're going to left click now to put the brake disc ventilated back on. We can see we have 2 of them because we got the new one we bought. And then right beside that is the old one that's only at 16%. So we're going to put the new one on. That was easy. We're going to get the brake pads, which I think were okay, right? Yep, 52%. It's okay. Now we got to put the caliper on, which was bad. We're going to put the new one on for 100%. Brake cylinder. All right, we're going to bolt these in. Excellent. And let's leave the tire off just for now, just in case we screwed something up and we have to come back and look at it again. So let's come over here. We're going to do the right wheel now. We're going to left click, get these bolts off. Looks like we got another rusted one here. If you've ever done, so I should mention too, I've done minimal car repair and stuff like that. Like I can change tires and change oil and stuff like that, but I know very little about cars. And I feel like I've learned a lot from just playing those kind of 4 or 5 hours with the test episode here. So this one looks okay. Let's see what the brake caliper looks like. Take the bolts off. So we're going to watch that top left corner to see what flashes up. 51%. That's okay. How about the brake pad? That's not looking so good here. 6%. This was a death trap. And I'm not even going to take off this ventilated disc because we know, I think in that list of parts, it only had 1. And we can see this one's nice and clean. So we're just going to go in and right click, take a look at our inventory. We're going to right click on brake pads to send it to the shopping list. We're going to get out of here. We're going to pull up our handy dandy tablet. And then we're going to go into our shopping list and brake pad. We are going to order one of those. Clicking on it, buy the part. Excellent. We're going to get back to our tire here. Switch to mount mode. We're going to put these brakes back on. Get rid of that 6% one. Excellent. Let's put our caliper on, which was okay. Put the caliper back on, and we're just bolting it together here, making good progress. That brake should be done. Excellent. Now, if we right click on the car, we can see our status. We can see that we've fixed one disc. Nope. We fixed the ventilated disc and the brake pads and a brake caliper. We have an ABS, the automatic brake system module. Now, I learned the hard way. That's inside in the back of the engine mount, in kind of the engine area. So we're going to do that. We have a brake disc defined, which is a part of the discs are on the rear wheels. I know that now too. I learned so much about car repair already. So we're doing pretty well here. I want to see if I can eyeball that to look for some rust in between these little holes there. That looks kind of rusty. Let's check this side. That one's got the rusty bolt there. I can't really tell. It's going to be the right or the left one. I'm going to go over and guess this left side just because it looks a little bit rustier to me. So let's get this wheel off and take a look. I wonder if I'm right. And as you skill up, you can get faster at taking these bolts off and stuff like that. Nope. That looks okay to me, right? Let's just leave it off just in case. We're going to come over on this side. Take this one off. Of course, I guessed the wrong one. Ain't that always the way? Need some WD-40 for this one here. I think one of the fun things to do in this game, for whatever reason, I feel like it would be really cool to take a complete junker. Oh yeah, look at that. It's all rusty. Okay, so let's get the caliper off here. Pop that off. Take the bolts out. You just left click on bolts to take them out. Brake pad should be okay. Yep, the caliper's okay. Brake pad 64%. But our brake disc should be bad. Yeah, 2%. Oh man, this is a death trap. So let's click out here to our inventory. Right click on the brake disc to send it to the list. Then give me the iPad here, right here. And go to our shopping list by clicking on the bottom. Brake disc, 70 credits. Buy the part. Nice. All right, let's get out of here. Now we're going to right click. Click on the part mount mode. We are making good time here. Left click to put the brake disc back on. We can see the old one down below, 2%. We put the nice new one on to make our customer happy. Replace the existing brake pads. They're still good, 64%. Put a caliper on. Whoops. There we go. Put the caliper on, 63, and the cylinder, 65. Get these bolts in here. All right, now if we kick out and we just right click on the car and we check the status, yeah, brakes are good, right? Caliper's done, disc ventilated. We have fixed the exterior brakes here, which is good. We're gonna have to do the ABS module. Let's go do that now because we can put the wheels on by letting it down halfway here. So we're gonna drop it down. Let's come over here to the hood. I'm gonna left click to open up the hood. Now we're looking for a rusty ABS module. They're usually in the back somewhere here. Let's take a look, see if we can see it with the engine here. I don't see it yet. Where is it? It's in the usually housed back like where this brake servo is. Let's try from this side. Let's click here on the engine. What the heck is it? Oh, there it is. I see it right back here. We hover over it. My mouse is with ABS module at 4%. Yep, so we're going to take that off. Boom, we got to take the screws out. Oh, that's rusty. Let's get some WD-40 on it. All right. Just zip, zip, off come the screws. I really wish screws came off this easy in real life. Okay, the ABS module, which is 4%. This car was... This customer is going to die. We can see we've got 21 experience now out of 150. Let us right-click. I'm just going to use the inventory here to right-click on the ABS module to get that into our parts list. Let's go there. We're going to use our little tablet. Now, we have to click out of the parts list because the automatic braking system is an electronic part, so we can't use the car parts. We're going to go down here to electronic accessories and parts. Click on that. There's the ABS module. It's right at the top, so we'll just click on it. 700 credits. Buy it. I wonder if that could give us a lot of money for this one, maybe, huh? Now let's left click and we're going to mount it. Right click and then mount it. Let's get the new ABS module on. Yep, we don't want the 4% one. We want the 100% one. Got to put the bolts back in. We're getting this car in spick and span shape here. This game makes me feel very productive. Like I wish, it's like kind of, you know, if driving like the truck simulators, you know, you do this like 10-hour truck drive in about, you know, half an hour. And this is the same way, like you replace the brakes in like 5 minutes. It's really cool feeling. Alrighty, so we're looking pretty good. If we right click on the status now, we have fixed everything the customers asked us to fix, the module and all the stuff with the brake work. We do have to put the tires back on. Let's get in there and do that. We're going to part mount. Let's just put the standard tire on. And we're picking, these are basically the 4 tires and rims, and we can see they're together. And they're all good, 66%, 56%, and stuff like that. We're going to put the bolts back in here. We're still just a little bit up in the air by being on the mount, so it's on the lift, so it's still good. So I'm going to do the other 3 tires, and then I'm going to show one more thing that I've been doing that I learned as I played the first game to kind of go through. So I'll get these other 3 tires on, and then we'll be back to kind of do a little bit more here. All right, so the wheels are all back on. Let's close. Actually, we're going to leave the hood open here. Now, we've got 26 experience out of 150, but there is this thing you can do at the beginning by just right-clicking on the car anywhere. You can go down to this in the bottom middle. It's called examination mode. And if you click that, you have all these options. And it's basically kind of a systems check of a lot of the different components and pieces and systems in the car. The thing is, though, watch, as we do this engine, so I'm going to just left-click on the engine and hold, and it's just running through these 17 kind of checks to the engine. Now, we know these are all good because the customer basically said the only thing that's wrong with the car is the brakes. But here at Blitzy Fixie, free of charge, we give every car a comprehensive systems check. It's our 50-point systems check, free of charge. The reason we want to do that, actually, we might think we're helping the customer. We are, but you'll notice that, so I'm going to do the suspension, and watch on the experience in the top right, every one of these little points we get increases our experience by 1. So by doing the suspension check, this 9-point suspension check, we gain 9 experience. So I will say there is definitely an element of grindiness to the beginning part of this game. Money is not easy to come by. It's going to take a while before we get kind of up to the level where we can start repairing parts. And as you work up and you get stronger and better, it seems like a whole different world of opportunities of things to fix and do comes into play. So right now we're just kind of checking these different suspension systems and components. I'm going to run through these and then we will wrap this car up and give this car back to the customer. I'll be right back once we get all these systems checks done. All right, so we can see now we're up to 96 experience. I went through every system, and of course we didn't find anything wrong because we know that, but there's one other thing, and this is why I wanted to buy that multimeter tool. We're going to take apart take the cover off the fuse box here, and then if we right click on the fuse box, we have this additional tools, and we can select the multimeter, and then that's just hands-free. It just does it magically. It's going to check all of the fuses in the car, and you can see that we're getting experience for this too. So we're going to do the kind of little bit of grind to level up a little bit faster because it's fun stuff, but the game definitely makes you earn your level ups and things like that. So there we go. We've checked all the different relays and fuses, and we kind of know those are okay, but that gives us 113 experience. So we're going to kind of mount this cover back on. All right, that's the existing cover. Back on it goes. Now this car here, we'll close the hood. It's a little bit of a beat up clunker. I wish we could do some body work on it, but we're not at that level yet. But it's all set to go. We can right click on it now, click car status, and we can see down on the bottom left, it's got enter for finish order. We're gonna get a 25% experience bonus, so that might help us. Maybe we'll get to level 2 here. Let's finish that order. Nice, we picked up 1,350. So we started with 3,350 credits, right? Because we bought the multimeter tool and the tablet. 3,790 credits. So that made us about 350. We need 5 more experience to get to level 2. Let's take our second job now. Let's see what we've got here. So this Mayan M3, by the way, I did buy, there are some DLCs that allow you to do Jaguars and Porsches, and Nissan has one, and I did get those. Oh, we lost that. Other tasks. So let's, I'm just gonna wait. I think one's gonna come up. They have a timer on them, and we didn't click fast enough. So I'm gonna close out of this, and we'll be back in a second as soon as another job pops up. All right, so here we go. A Griffin Tyro has come in here, 2015. Other tasks. So other tasks usually is kind of like changing the oil and stuff like that, and liquids and things. It's not super profitable, but let's just do it because it's a good first episode. And who knows what it's gonna be. Car's in pretty good shape, 78%. We'll take the order. Oh, this is a nice car. We're moving up in the world pretty quickly here. Let's get it inside to our lift. Now, generally I've found that this stuff here, we're going to click on the car and click the status, and we're going to go right up here to the little phone and tell us what it... not really profitable. Just change the brake fluid and change the coolant fluid. But, you know, sometimes you got to do the little things in life to make people happy. So we'll escape out of that. We can do this, I think, right from in here. Changing the fluids is kind of cool. So here we get the hood open. Wait a second, I forgot already. It was a brake fluid, right? I know it was a brake fluid. And what else? Brake fluid and the coolant fluid. Okay, so our brake fluid is back here under the brake booster. To change the fluid, you right click on the brake booster. We got to kind of left click on it to get into it. Now we're going to right click on it, and we do this additional tools because you got to drain it first. If you don't drain it, you kind of have a $50 cleanup fee and stuff like that. So now we're going to left click on it. We'll see a little drainer come here, and it pulls all the brake fluid out. So we get the old brake fluid out, and right click, then unmount to that mode, and we're going to just click on the cap, open the cap up, and here is our brake fluid. We left click and we start to fill it up. I think you can just kind of overflow. It doesn't seem to matter. So we're just generally pretty sloppy with these things until we make sure we get enough in. We don't skimp on stuff here at Blitzy Fixie. There we go. So we can see it bubbling over just behind the engine there. So now we're going to escape out of that, and we have fixed that. If we right click now on the car and check the status, we can see we have changed the brake fluid. It's got a nice happy green check mark. Now we have to change the coolant fluid. So we're going to do the same thing, except with the coolant fluid. And the coolant fluid is this orange thing here. Sometimes it's just in the radiator, but most cars, the newer ones, seem to have these reservoirs. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on the part. So now we're focused in on the part. We're going to right click on additional tools, click on drain tool, then just click anywhere on it. And that should bring out the heavy duty drainer here. Perfect. Get all the old gunky coolant out. Right click and cancel that mode. Now we're just going to click on the cap and open it up. Put the fluid in. I don't think this job is going to make us very much money. But hopefully we'll get to level 2, because we're going to do all our complimentary 80-point engine check for everything that comes in. All right, so we're just spilling that all over the place. That's pretty cool. We left click out of there. If we right click on the car, this car is ready to go, but customary check here. We're going to right click on it, select our examination mode. We're going to go through all the examination here. I'll be back as soon as we're done here. Just left clicking and letting the experience rack up. We should hit level 2 now. There we go. Boom. Ka-ching. Level 2. So we'll go pick a skill after this too, but I'll be right back. Yeah. All right, so our complimentary systems check is all done here. We can see a lot of green. So this car's in pretty good shape, of course. Now I'm just going to go in and do the fuse box, and then we'll be right back to wrap up this customer's job here. All right, we've fixed this one up pretty good here now. Let's give it back to the customer here. I don't think we're going to make very much money on this. Yep, it's all good. Everything's fixed. No other opportunities. Let's finish that order. Ka-ching, 87. Not too much. That was cheap. But, I mean, we just changed some fluid and stuff like that. But we are at level 2. Let's go to our handy-dandy toolbox and level up. I think the first thing I'm going to get is 5% discounts on parts that you buy, because the new parts are really expensive, and that 5% discount I feel like adds up really fast. So let's get that one. We're just going to click on enter and hold. Boom. Now we get 5% discount on every part that we'll buy going forward. I think our next one is going to be this renovator one, because I was reading some stuff on the internet actually and watching a couple of videos, and people say, get this one because it's really going to help when you can start upgrading parts and fixing parts and things like that. We can't do anything here. We don't have enough money. Want to buy anything here? Charger? Nah, not yet. We're going to leave those kind of for right now. And I think with that, we are done with our first episode. We've got 95 experience on our way to level 3 out of the 300 that we need. We're at level 2. We're at 3,766 credits. We started with 4,000, but we got the multimeter. We got our little handy dandy iPad to order parts from under the car. We made some money by doing a couple jobs. We will be back I think I'm going to come back and make a few episodes. I'm kind of feeling like this is going to be maybe at least a mini series and maybe a little bit of a longer one. When we come back, our next door I think is going to be do the story mode, one of the more complicated ones. We're going to try to fix up this Luxor Baron. So kind of figure out what the problems are. We got to change the tires and stuff like that. So that'll be kind of fun. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. It helps to get it in front of other people's eyes. If you've got comments, ideas, or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. If you're new, please consider subscribing as do this. We got other things like Truck Simulator, American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator episodes on the channel, as well as board wargaming and other simulation games and other stuff, strategy games as well. So lots of stuff going on. Look forward to our next episode, and we'll see you then soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.